So this right here is the brand new and improved Vibecode app. And the Vibecode app for the past 3 months, it's already the #1 app that builds mobile apps. But the entire app has been revamped. In fact, the interface of vibe coding has been completely reinvented on mobile. And it looks a lot more like CapCut, which is why we need to go over all of the new features. There's literally so many new features on the Vibecode app. That includes image generation, audio generation, haptics, API, cloud logs, environment variables. We need to go over all of the new chat because, by the way, it is Claude code that powers the Vibecode app by default. This is literally Claude code out of the box, except optimized for creating high-quality mobile apps. And we need to talk about all of the new features in the Vibecode app. And so this video is a comprehensive guide on every single feature within the Vibecode mobile app, the #1 app that builds mobile apps, so that you can get your idea from your head and get it on the App Store. And I'm gonna dive in right now. We're gonna cover all of these features. I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's just dive in. And so this right here is an AI-powered app that I created from the Vibecode app, which allows me to upload an image, add a text prompt, and then it will generate an image of me riding around in this flying car. And then I can just edit it. And I can just type in, make him wearing a top hat, and I can enter this in. And boom, it'll add the hat. And so this was created on the Vibecode app. And so what we can do is we can go home, and this is what our home screen looks like on the Vibecode app. When we hit new project, we can actually get some suggestions. Right here up top, we can see suggestions for apps. And some of these suggestions can be really cool because we can make a custom version. We could say ChatGPT clone, except this is for my consulting business about creating content. And so this allows you to get a little bit of inspiration before you put in your app idea. That is suggestions. So the next update to Vibecode is that it literally uses Claude code out of the box. And this means that we can use all of the models that are available within Claude Code. For those of you who've used Claude Code, which is the best AI coding model for building mobile apps in the world. So we can actually select which model that we want to use. Right now, I suggest using Sonnet or Haiku. Haiku is really fast. It is cheaper, and this will use less credits on your account. Now we can enter our prompt, and now the AI, or Claude Code, within the Vibecode app will begin building our app. And so one other thing I want to talk about is stop generating. If just like with Cursor or Claude Code or a lot of the other vibe coding tools, you can stop the generation by simply pressing this button right here, stop generating. In the chat history, you can also see a lot of these elements that you can interact with. Like here you see tasks, and then you can see this arrow. You can actually click on this, and it will show you all of the different tasks that Claude Code is going through. And you could just watch it like this. You can just see where it is in its progression. Or what you can do is you don't even have to wait for it to be done at all. While it's loading, you can now generate images, generate audio, look through different haptics. You can select from different APIs that you can add to your application, and many more things. And we're going to go over all of those things because this is the brand new Pinch to Build menu. This is where your app will load. I think of this as kind of like a play mode, and then you have a build mode. And so when the app loads, you can just use the app. And when you want to enter build mode, when you want to go from play mode to build mode, all you do is you pinch. Pinch to build. Pinch to build. Here we're pinching, tap back on it, and now we're back in play mode. When you pinch, you now have access to this. And so while the app is loading and your AI is actually generating all the code for your app, you can create assets that you can then give to your agent to add to your app. And this is kind of the full essence of vibe coding. Here we can generate assets, and we're going to get to this later, but we can generate an icon, and we can just say monkey 3D cartoon. And we can enter that into the prompt, and this will generate assets. But we're going to come back to this later. So the app is now done. The app is done, and so we can press down on this little button here, and now we can enter this view. And if you click on the app, now we're in the app. Check this out. We have a ChatGPT clone for my business. And I didn't really specify what my business is about, but we can actually add that later. Here we can press this menu up here. We have new conversations. This looks a lot like the ChatGPT app. Let's type hello. Obviously, this isn't perfect, but let's see if the AI works out of the box. It does, right? What is capital of Texas? Boom. We are now using an AI model. After one prompt, we have this little ChatGPT clone that we can use. If we want to go back to editing our app, if we want to go to build mode, right? Pinch to build. Here, what we can do is we can press this button right here. We're entering the chat. One thing I want to talk about is clear history. I wouldn't do this right now because you don't need to. If you've used AI for a while, you know that the more you chat with an AI in one session or one chat, the worse the AI performs. Even though that Claude Code out of the box kind of manages its own context, it's still a good idea to clear history every once in a while, especially when you move to a new task. And so you can do that by pressing this button right here and then hitting clear. I'm not going to do it in this case, but I just wanted to make sure that I show you where you can clear history and why you do it. So vibe coding has been around for a year or so, or a little over a year, and people's favorite tool to use when vibe coding, one of them is Wispr, a voice tool that allows you to record your voice and turns it into text so that you don't even need to type when vibe coding. You just speak your idea using Wispr. Well, Vibecode is built in with Wispr. It literally uses the same exact model under the hood, and so we can say, right now, I want the input field to be 2 lines high by default and make it look more like modern input fields. Look up on the internet how to implement this. I want you to figure it out. Look how ChatGPT or Perplexity does it, and in a simple way, figure out how to make the input area look better and more modern. And I actually just covered 2 things there that I'm realizing I didn't really explain. Because another thing that the AI agent can do here is search internet, right? I told it to search the internet to find examples, and it can do that. Just ask it to search the internet, and it will be able to do that. You can see here that it is searching React Native. It's executing the web search tool, and it's cool to watch along to make sure that it's doing the right thing. And if it's not doing the right thing, press stop generating and say, no, do the right thing. That's when you would want to use this. Of course, we used our voice, and I love using my voice. I hardly ever type when I vibe code, and I think if you're creating a mobile-first vibe coding tool, you have to have that feature. And so that is the voice feature. And remember, you can actually queue up prompts. We don't have to wait for it to being done. So I can press this button right here. This button right here removes the chat, it moves the chat down. This button removes the chat up, down, get it? So whenever you pinch to build, right? If you pinch to enter build mode, this image right here can be placed into your app. When I click into the text chat, you're going to see this little camera button right here. This automatically pastes the screenshot, this into the chat. It immediately does it, right? And you can do this multiple times. You can say, okay, this looks pretty cool, but ... but I want the text to be bigger on this page. Then what I can do is I can actually go back to the app and I can click on this side menu. Now I can pinch again here. And what we can do is we can press that same camera button again, right? This camera button that's right here. This enters a screenshot. And we can say on this, I don't like that big blue button, right? And make it black, and we can enter that prompt in. And notice here that these are lit up in the prompt. So if we click on this screenshot, we can see the first screenshot. And okay, this prompt was run successfully. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. We can see that the text is a lot bigger. We can also see that the input field does look a little bit different. But again, this is weird, right? You see how much space there is between this and the keyboard? So if we just pinch, and all we do is we're just going to open this up. We're going to press this button right here to paste that screenshot in. Now we're going to press the voice. Hey, Look at this image. See how much space is in between the keyboard and the input area? I want that fixed immediately. Boom. And you can see the screenshot that it has access to. You can see, oh yeah, it doesn't get the keyboard. That's one thing. If you're using that screenshot, it won't see the keyboard, it just sees the actual app. Okay, so it is done. Let's take a look. Here we see the spacing is a lot better. And let's check the other screenshot, see that the clear conversation is now not that bright blue color that was kind of hideous. That's pretty cool. So that is the screenshot feature. And then finally, we have this undo feature. So I'm going to say, add a title to this app, call it Monkey Chat. And now it's loading. We're going to add a title to the app. Oh, it already added Monkey Chat. Let's see, is it already done? That was really fast. And look at that. It is now Monkey Chat. So if we pinch, we open up the chat by pressing this little arrow. Here, we can see this button right here. There's this button that says undo. I can click on this, and this will undo the last prompt that we put in. Okay, now it's done. If we go to the app, we can see that it is back to hello. So that right there was undo. So that is all of the different chat features, but now I want to move to the fun part, which is pinch to build. While you're editing your app, you already know this, pinch, now we can build. We have this horizontal scroll menu right here, and we can do many different things. And the first one is select right here. Okay, so let's go over the select feature. Let's say I want to hone in on a specific component. I can do that. I'm just going to pinch. We're going to click select. Now we can actually just move in our app. It's like a little mini version of our app. We can use it. What we can do is we can press select when we want to actually select a component, and I can select this right here, and now I can press done. And this will insert that element into this. And so you can actually see the details of that element, right? You can see the height, and then we can do is we can say, I see that the height is 28, make it 56. I want this whole input area to be taller. Please make it taller. And if you want to hone in on a specific element, you can with the Element tab. And it is really that easy. And the reason we made all of these updates to the Vibecode app is so that you don't have to wait for things, right? This is moving right now, and you can see that it's making changes live, but we don't have to wait for it to be done. We can move on to the Image tab. Let's say we want to create an icon, right? We want to create an icon, and we can say 3D chat bubble that is the same color as the Pittsburgh Steelers 3D render icon cute. I don't know. I'm just saying some random words here. And what we can do is we can run this. Chat icon, fun, cute chat icon. Cute 3D render cartoon chat icon. And you can just kind of vibe it, right? You're just trying to find an icon that you like. You can press X up here to see them, and you can see that these 3 images are indeed loading. And now this one is coming in. I actually don't like this yellow one. I don't think this one's a good color, right? As you can see, I can select as many of these as I want, and then I can just add them to my prompt. I don't want to add these to my prompt right now. I'm going to wait for these other 2 to come in. There's the next one. You know what? I like this one. Let's go with this one right here. Add to the prompt. I want you to use this as the logo. Put this logo on the top right of the app, and also put it in the onboarding. And so I want to, while I'm editing the onboarding screen, I want to be able to access it by double tapping that icon, and this should automatically take me to the onboarding. Make the onboarding 6 different pages or slides, and my consulting business is about creating content effectively, and so come up with really good copy and make it card-based. Make the background look like a grid. Don't make the background too, make it look like graph paper almost, and then have cards on top of that have really good, simple copy to educate users to get them to sign up, and make the 6th slide a paywall. It'll be a phantom paywall for now, but just create all of that. Okay, so I just created a bunch of stuff there, but it will use this image, and then I'm going to actually say one more thing. please use the logo image and make it really big on the first slide of the onboarding. Onboarding is the first impression your users are going to have when they use your app. And so we can enter that prompt in. By the way, let's take a look at the app. You can see that it is much taller. Remember, we used the select feature to select it. Now we can mark that off, right? We just went to pinch, went to select. We can press the select button down here, and we can actually select any component, and we can add it to our chat and be like, make this taller, make it smaller, make it bigger, that type of thing. So now we're back on images. And you can see here that Claude Code downloaded the logo and added it to the assets, right? It added it to the assets, and ideally it's going to place it into exactly where we want in the app. In this case, it's going to be at the top right of our chat app, and then also in the onboarding that it's creating, because it's creating the onboarding screen with 6 slides, add graph paper background, and so now it's doing that right now. So it should, oh, there it is. It's already done that, and now the chat logo is up there. And you can see that it definitely worked. That's pretty cool. And you know what? I'm actually going to quickly go to the Select tab. I'm going to just really quickly select this, hit Done. Please make this 2 times as big. I don't like how small the logo is. And notice here that this one isn't done, right? This one isn't done. This right here is queued up. And then it immediately entered the prompt. So as soon as the previous prompt was done, it entered my next one. And it hung out here at the very bottom, right? It was in the queue, right? And that's one of the chat features we might have missed a little bit, was just like it's in the queue. So when you enter a prompt while the agent is working, it'll just queue it up. As soon as the agent's done, it'll enter that prompt in as well. Okay, so here it says the logo is twice the size. If we click on this, boom, the logo's much bigger. If we click on this logo, all right, now it opens up the onboarding. Welcome to Content Mastery, Strategy First, Write Better Faster, Social Media Excellence, Always Learning, Unlock Your Potential, Get Started. And that is a cool onboarding that we created with one prompt. And so you might be thinking, that kind of looked boilerplate. I agree with you. Let's add some audio. Now, I want some epic music. So epic motivational instrumental music. Relaxing lo-fi beats music, movie score, cinematic music, epic scene coming up. So we're using 11 Labs right here for this new audio feature. And this is just one of the types of audio that we can create, right? We have music, sound effects, and voice. Right now we're on music. And so this is loading. This takes a little bit. Here we go. Here's a 3-minute and 30-second song that was just generated. I love it. I don't even need to listen to the other ones. Add to the prompt. As soon as the onboarding begins, please use this song in the onboarding. Boom. Now we have entered audio into the chat. We just put audio into our app. Another type of audio that we can add is, let's go to sound effects. Whimsical ding noise, elegant enter noise. Ooh, I like that. It's kind of futuristic. We can add this to the prompt. Whenever the user presses the go to the next page button, whatever that button may say, please play this sound effect. Only on the onboarding. There we go. And so let's go ahead, and while the audio is being put in, the sound effect, and this should be very quick actually. We could probably I believe it's already done if we just press this button right here. Let's go ahead and go to our onboarding. Welcome to Content Mastery. Write better, faster. Social media excellence. Craft scroll-stopping social content. Always learning. Unlock your potential. Now we're locked in. All right, you know what? I want to make this app a little bit more immersive. So now what we can do is we can actually go to the Haptics tab, and we can test these out right here. Ooh, this one feels good. I love heavy impact. So what we can do is we can add this to the prompt. A haptic is simply when your phone vibrates a little bit. It's like haptic feedback, you know, like when you press, maybe you use the ChatGPT app, they have excellent haptics in their app. Please use this haptic when I press enter in the chat interface. Right? This will actually allow us, when we press this enter button right here, it will make this like haptic sensation in our app. So we're really drilling down and allowing for full customizability with this pinch to build. I hope you're able to see this, right? With your pinch to build, you're able to like really hone in on image, audio, and haptic. Just those three things really allows you to create the look and feel of your app. These are like the three main design features. Okay, so it is done. We can go check it out. We can say, hi. Now I'm going to press this button right here. And there you go. It literally made the haptic. It really does make a difference. One thing I did notice is like when I say hi and it's showing thinking, it's really ugly. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and just tell the agent that. I really do think it's ugly when the agent is thinking or the chat bot is thinking. Please make that look much better and more pleasing. I just don't like the little animation you guys have now. Anyway, that was haptics. Let's go ahead and move to the API tab right here, right? Right here, this is the API tab. Boom. So within the API tab, we can see all of the text models, the image models, the data models, and we can select from these. And so what we could do is we could go audio, and we could do 11 labs, flash text to speech. We can get a good idea. 11 labs, text to speech is the fastest text to speech model available. Let's go ahead and add this to the prompt. I want the AI, once it's done writing its message, to actually read out its message using this API. And you see here, this prompt is now queued up behind the last one. So as soon as this one's done, this one will be entered. Okay, let's take a look and see if this indeed works. So I want to like create a new conversation. Here we go. We can say, hello. Ooh, that looks a lot better. I'm not hearing the audio. That's interesting. Okay, I lied. So I'm using a software called Bezel, which allows me to stream my phone to my camera. But I'm going to say it again. Hi.
Hello, how can I assist you with your content creation needs today? Whether you need help with strategy, writing, or social media content, I'm here to help.
There we go. So the audio does indeed work. Let's see if it works if I plug it in again. Say one word.
Creativity.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so the sound is indeed working. So we added the 11 Labs API, and that's pretty cool. We added audio via an AI API, because APIs are like little power-ups. Let's say, for example, that we want to use an API, like we want to use some scraper. And for example, one of my favorite APIs is SuperData. This allows me to scrape YouTube videos, which is super useful. And so what I can do here, if I wanted to use this API, but Vibecode doesn't offer it, right, in the API tab, if you want to use an integration, Vibecode doesn't have all of the integration. What you could do here is you can actually go to whatever platform you're using to get an API. For here, I'm using the SuperData API, and I want to hit copy. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to the ENV tab. And so this is an advanced feature, right? This is an advanced feature which allows you to paste in your own API keys. So like we have ones that we give you by default, which are just integrations or APIs. But if you want to bring your own API keys, you're welcome to do that. You can do that in the ENV tab right here. So what we can do is we can actually add a variable by pressing this button here at the top, and we can add SuperData. So I'm just going to go SuperData and I'm going to go underscore API underscore key. That's what usually, and if you're advanced enough to understand what this is, it means you're semi-technical at least. You know this. And on this API key thing, I'm going to copy it. Now I'm going to paste it right here. I actually don't want to show it on screen. Okay, I just pasted it in and pressed enter. Now I can select the Superdata API key. I can add it to the prompt. I could say, please look up Superdata API key, and when the user pastes in only a YouTube transcript, I want the AI to respond with a summary of that YouTube transcript. Please search the docs and use this API key. So here we're using an external API key, and notice how I told the agent, because remember, the agent can search the internet, and there's always special instructions with any API, right? We are using a service that somehow allows you to scrape YouTube videos really easily and very fast, but it needs to know how to do it. And so I just tell it, check the internet, learn how to do it, and it's executing the tool, and now it is fetching the detailed API documentation to understand the exact implementation. It'll do that. I gave it the key. It knows the exact key that it needs to use, and it should work on the first try. And so this is how to use the ENV tab. All right, so it is done. Now we can test this API feature. Let's go ahead and see if this works. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to this random YouTube video here. We're going to copy it. Why democracy is mathematically impossible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this right in here, paste, boom. Now our content consultant app is helping us summarize some content here. Boom! The video explores the notion that democracy might be mathematically flawed due to the inherent issues in voting systems, blah, 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 blah. There we go. We have a very clean summary. That is really, really cool. And we're doing this with the Superdata API. Okay, here we go. Check this out. So we got this error. If we go to the page, the agent made some errors. And so one thing that I forgot to mention in the chat is fixing bugs. And you can do that by just pressing this fix button. When you press this fix button, you are not charged for these tokens. It is free to fix bugs. And so you can see here that the agent is going to go through and fix the bug. I had to ask the agent specifically to create some front-end issue with some errors. So now the agent is automatically going to go through and fix. I didn't need to copy and paste any errors. I just tapped fix, and now it's working on them right away, which is a really easy experience. And let's take a look at this. If we click down and we open this up right here, I believe we refresh the app, boom, the error is gone and we're all good, and the error is fixed just by pressing a button. So there we go. We learned about fixing bugs. Okay, so that is fixing bugs, right? We just fixed some bugs, and now we're done with all the chat features. The last feature I want to do in this app specifically, this chat app that we've created, remind you we've created the cool onboarding and the YouTube feature. I want to do the logs. And so what logs are, I don't even fully know the technical definition of logs, but you can look at it here. Logs hold the app system information, add them to your prompts to get help, to help the agent troubleshoot errors. And you can tell the agent to put anything in the logs. And so what I'm going to say here is I'm actually going to tell it to log certain things. So one thing I want to do first is I want to clear the history. Let's clear this history real quick. We'll start with a fresh chat. Okay, I want you to please add logs when we use the transcript feature, and I want you to put the transcript in the logs so I can go through and read the transcript and the AI prompt. So I just want to be able to look and see what you're doing on the back end there so I can get a good look at it. And so what we're doing here is like these logs kind of live in the back end, right? And when you're in Cursor, or if you use Replit, they have logs. And here, right, we have the app, right? You can use the app, but they can also store things in the logs that you can check. And so I'm asking Claude Code, or the Vibecode agent, I'm asking Claude Code to not only, because Claude Code knows that it should only put the summary in the app. I put in the link, and then it will respond with the summary, right? The AI responds with the summary. But in order to get the summary, it's pulling the transcript, and then the AI is converting that. And if you want to make changes to how the AI handles this summary or what prompt it's using for the summary, the only way you can do that is if you see what's happening on the back end. So we're telling Claude Code that instead of just putting the summary, it's also going to put this transcript that it's getting in the logs as well. And in the logs tab, we can view it. And so that's just in case you want to see something on what's going on in the back end without having to get it to render it in the front end. Because the front end of the app is what you're seeing when you use the app in this play mode. Okay, so it's done. It says all logs are formatted with clear section markers, transcript star. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and grab this YouTube transcript again. We'll paste in the transcript here, paste. And there we go. Okay, so here's the transcript. If we pinch, we go to the logs tab. Let's take a look here. Okay, this is looking good. Let's scroll. Let's see what's to the bottom. Okay. Okay, so here's the AI response. But if you look here, wait. Let me see. This is looking like a transcript. Let's see. We see here for your project. There you go. YouTube transcript fetch start. And so here, log YouTube transcript. Democracy might be mathematically impossible. This isn't a value judgment, a comment about human nature, nor a statement about how rare and unstable democratic societies have been in our history of civilization. What we can do is let's just go to this video. Let's see.
Might be mathematically impossible. This isn't a value judgment, a comment about human nature, nor a statement about how rare and unstable democratic societies have been in the history of civilization. Our current attempt at democracy, the methods we're using to elect our leaders, are fundamentally irrational.
There we go. So it works, and we tested it in the logs. And so this is a pretty interesting app that we've created here. We've added a YouTube scraper. We've added this basic AI chat app, and we added an onboarding with sound. So that's all we're going to focus on right now within this app that we've created, because I want to move to something really exciting. So we just did logs, and so I want to move to Cloud. Cloud is a feature. It is technically a beta feature within the Vibecode app. When you create a new project, you can now enable Vibecode Cloud. Please create a Twitter clone with authentication, database, and storage. Right now, the only way to create an app with a full backend to your app with authentication and storage so other people can sign in is by enabling Vibecode Cloud. And this will create your own database. And this feature, this Cloud tab, is going to show you the actual data in your database pretty soon. It's not quite out yet, but you will actually get to see the full backend of your app right there. And so here it's actually creating a Twitter clone that you can sign into with email. You can send it to other people and they can sign in, and all the data will be private amongst the users, and you'll be able to upload images. So it has built-in storage. And so that's what Vibecode Cloud is. And so that is Cloud. Next, we have payments. This is the feature that we are working on the hardest. We understand that people want to create apps and make money. And so we're actually working with a company right now on making this very, very powerful. This is a feature we didn't want to release before it's like actually really, really good. A lot of companies have, and vibe coding tools have released payments, but it just doesn't really work. We are going to make it work very well before releasing, and that is coming very, very soon. And so that is payments. And UI is going to be one of the most insane features, and I literally can't say anything beyond what you see in front of you, because this feature is going to be a massive announcement in and of itself. I don't want to give away too much right now because I cannot wait for this feature to come. So UI and payments is coming soon, and they will be massive. And yeah, and so that's Pinch to build. And this kind of experience where you get to move from images, audio, haptics, APIs, cloud, logs, environment variables, user interface, payment, all of these things you can do kind of asynchronously, and you can just build your app, and like while the AI is cooking, you can work on something else, you can generate more assets, you can browse haptics, you can browse APIs. And as we add more and more to this, right, we're building this app so that we can add more and more and more. We just don't want to start with a ton. We want to master the foundations of Pinch to build, educate users on how to use it, and then we're just going to add any type of app that you can think of. You're going to be able to do it on the Vibecode app, which is really cool. And now let's move quickly to the share features. The different share features are as follows. So the first thing is if you hit settings and you refer your friend, whatever the cost is for the membership. So like let's say someone signs up for the Plus plan, which is $20 a month, you get $20 of credits in Vibecode. So if you refer 5 of your friends to the Max plan, you get $1,000 worth of credits in the Vibecode app. And that is very easy. All you do is you press share and you can share a link, you can copy it, and all you have to do is send it to someone. If they sign up for the Vibecode app, you get the cost, the full amount. And that is really, really cool. So that is referrals. One other thing, so we just created Chirp, which is the Twitter clone. If we wanted to clone that Twitter app that we were creating, this content consultant, we can actually duplicate the project. And so that's really fun. All you do is you press duplicate. You may have to refresh the page. There you go. Here we have copy of consultant. And so that's really fun. And so that is duplication. One thing I realized I forgot is app icon. One thing you can do is, let's say for this consultant, we wanted to generate an icon. What we can do here is we can orange bird. Now we can generate an icon of an orange bird. There we go. We have the orange bird. We can hit continue. And you'll notice here that this icon here is now this orange bird in your list here. And so that is Content Consultant Chat. And we've generated an icon. The next thing that we can do is if you hold this down, what we can do is we can actually download the code. When we hit download the code, will be sent to your email. So this gets sent to your email, and you can actually download the code and you can port it into Cursor, if you just use Claude code, whatever IDE that you want to use, or if you're just trying to learn how coding works. I definitely recommend that if you're a curious person to dig in and see how this app is coded. It's in React Native, and I think you'll learn a lot if you download the code and use it. I think that's an awesome feature. Another thing that you can do is, let's say we are in our Content Consultant app. If we're in pinch mode, we can press share. We can actually publish. This link can be opened on any iPhone. If someone has the Vibecode app, it will open it in their Vibecode app. If they don't have Vibecode, it will open it in a little mini app. And they can actually use your app, and they can sign in if you have a backend, even if they don't have Vibecode downloaded, which is really, really fun. And you can make little mini social apps for your group chat, et cetera, et cetera. And that is what an app clip is. That's publishing your app. And then finally, what I want to get to real quick, let me see here. Connect via SSH. That's one thing. Okay. SSH allows you to connect it to Cursor. And so you're basically connecting it sort of via internet. I'm not super technical, so I don't fully understand how this feature works. But if you want to connect it to Cursor really quickly and then be able to like quickly send it back to the app, you can connect it to Cursor via SSH. It works really well. And you can send yourself email instructions, or you have the command and password that you can copy. We're going to make a lot of other videos on how to actually do this and connect it with Cursor, but we're trying to build the app powered by Claude Code in such a way that you don't actually need Cursor. You can just do everything with AI. That is the SSH feature. And the final feature that everyone loves is the Publish to App Store. This is the first app ever created that you can create an app with basically image generation, audio generation, haptics, API with full control over the app without writing a single line of code. And then at the end, you can just send it to the App Store. You can just hit Get Started. You can select all of these. You can hit Next. You can put in your email, and you can go through this full process. You do need an Apple developer account, And it's not that difficult to set up. In the description below, I'll put in a guide on how to actually go through this. I've made many videos showing how to set this up and how to do this. I'll link them down below, but you just put in your email and your password, and then it'll make you create an app icon because it needs an app icon to send it to the App Store. But since we've already done it from the main menu, we actually won't have to do it. And then you'll press enter. Then Apple will send you a code, and you'll type in the code, and you're done. The app will be sent to TestFlight. And from there, you can actually send the TestFlight link to other people. And then you'll need to complete a few other things on the computer to get it sent to the actual App Store. We are working on actively over the next 2 weeks at the Vibecode app. We're figuring out how we can get this whole process done from the phone and with automatic screenshots. And so we're still trying to figure out how to do that, but we're very close, and we will get it, and you will be able to send it directly and all the way to the App Store from your phone very soon. But that's how you get it to TestFlight. And it's not super difficult. And yeah, that is a lot of it, right? We have new chat features, new pinch features, new share features within the Vibecode app. It is a completely fresh design. The Vibecode app is completely different now, and it is so much better. It's the #1 app that builds mobile apps, and this is every single feature within it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you here for the next video.